Oh God! Can you imagine like halfway through the season, Michigan's doing kind of well. No, this is going to happen, right? Michigan's going to just while Cade starts going to destroy the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season because the schedule is so weak, right?
No, Cade's
But
going to throw 10 passes a game the first 4 weeks of the
right,
season.
and they're just going to just like just be 4-0, 5-0, be like in a top 15, top 10 somewhere, right? And then like let Michigan go out in the first real opponent, they somehow lose, right? It won't be all Cade's fault. And by then, JJ's back in practice. He's repping, he's throwing the ball over the place. You get the rumor mill. So JJ looks great in practice, right? Maybe JJ gets sprinkled in there a little bit, in the first few games while he's back. And it's like, okay, well, all right, JJ's healthy now. Yeah, I think it's time for him to start. Can you imagine? That's
Ugh.
how it's like. Oh God, but whatever. I guess that's how it is.
It's interesting. That'd be something. But yeah, that I would imagine the first 4 games we're probably going to see probably 40 pass attempts from Cade.
It's not
Because
even fun, man.
I
No,
mean,
that would be ridiculous, Daz. I mean, come on, they're playing Hawaii and Connecticut. For God's sakes, I don't think we have to run the football every time to beat them. Let's
no,
have fun.
we don't. But
Maybe they do what we want them to do. Maybe they don't. Hey, we know we have really good running backs in Quorum and Edwards. Let's throw the ball around a little bit.
Trey, let's level with yourself.
It's Hawaii and
I would
Connecticut.
listen. We were on the week after week when we played Western Michigan, and then those other cupcake teams that they played, and before the game, we talked about, oh man, let's get in there, air it out. You've got your margin of error is humongous, and we got 15 pass attempts. Like that's we've got to speak in reality, not with what we want. I would love to have Cade and JJ in those first 4 games, each having, I mean, throw it 60 times a game. I really don't care because as I mentioned, you're going to get in some games where you're going to have to air it out, and it's best to know what you have to deal with than not. But
Ooh,
I
Michigan's going
also
to beat
said that
Connecticut
before
65
last
to
season,
3.
and Michigan won the Big Ten. They beat Ohio State, beat Penn State, and we're in the college football playoffs. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know.
dude, they're gonna beat Connecticut and Hawaii are combined like 100-10 or 3. Like it's like literally like, here we go. Right, here's the stat line for the Hawaii game. Michigan 57, Hawaii 3. Michigan has 450 rushing yards off of 30 attempts, and like Dad said, about 12 passing attempts of 130. Like literally, that would be it. I
Yes.
swear. I'm
Yes.
like, oh, stop, please. Like,
Yep.
whatever.
That's what's gonna happen. That is what's gonna happen.
And we're gonna have to come on in the post game show, and people are gonna want to say, "Hey, so what'd you guys take away from the game?" Blake Chrome can still run.
Yep. Yep.
Donovan Edwards is actually for real.
I guess on the plus side, we won't need to worry as much of did Cade get better today because he's a capable quarterback.
You know,
So
that's true.
that's
We
a
know he's
positive,
capable of. Yes,
right?
that's true. You know.
So I mean, glass half full, glass half full.
Hey, did you see that cut that Blake made? Oh my god! Like, and then you're gonna have after the first 4 weeks, Blake Horn for Heisman. I can already see it. He's gonna have like 650 yards or something insane. Donovan Edwards probably gonna have a mixture of rushing, receiving yards. Oh, it's gonna be great. Michigan's gonna have to lead the conference and lead the country in rushing. Oh yeah. Oh, they're gonna play this one up big. I can't. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Offensive line is gonna be mauling teams. Just absolutely. Just forget the fact that like the average weight of the Michigan offensive line is gonna be like 320 pounds compared to the average defensive line weight for Hawaii and Connecticut being like 260. You know,
If
and
that,
just
you're probably being generous with that.
they got Michigan sized linebackers playing a defensive line.
215, 200 pound D end. Yeah, it's
I'm going to put up a graphic. You guys keep talking. I'm just going to put up a graphic. I'm going to remind Dre of something.
No boy.
And I'm not going to check my work. I'm almost positive this was the number. So you guys can. It'll take me a minute to type this out
Yeah,
here.
it's just I look. I don't want to. Look, he's
It's just not his style. I think we can just kind of.
If you gonna run the score up, throwing it around. Let's have some fun. Come on, let's
Yeah, having
just.
fun. I was right there with Des last year. And again, just like Des said, I guess we were wrong. But I was thinking, you need to work on the passing game. You need to get these reps. What are you doing?
We all
Well,
were.
and now I think a valid thing to think about is, you don't have the safe hands of Hassan Haskins. I think he got, I mean, an unreal amount of carries with 0 fumbles. Never. If it was 0 fumbles, it was 0 lost fumbles. But very sure-handed running back, and he took the bulk of that load. I would assume Blake Corum's probably going to be your number one, but I don't think he's got the size of to be able to handle
I
25,
think it'd
30
be more
carries in a game.
50-50. I think it'd be more 50-50, Des. I really do.
Agree. Yeah.
And thanks for that, Mark. I think that was Devin Gardner. I think that was at
It was.
Connecticut, by the way. And yeah, I remember that game very vividly. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, 21 all in that game. Man, that could have been embarrassing.
No, it would have been not the first in a long list of embarrassing games. You got I think that's the same year of Minnesota. Shane Morris stumbling to the sideline because he just got cut.
Ooh, yeah, that was a bad look.
That year was just that was just a long. Ironically though, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Wait a minute, no, I think that was 2012. What year was that 2012? The Michigan Ohio State game when Ohio State was undefeated. Michigan was like 6-5, and they had that close game at the Big House.
Well, just letting you know, Ohio State was undefeated both years in that game.
Thank you for that. Right.
So,
let me just do this.
But so the first one was in Columbus, was 26-21 with Denard Robinson at QB. The second one was the Devin Gardner
limping
Ohio State
around.
defense wasn't really that good. 42-41, they went for the 2.
I still think about that play. And here's the rule of thumb is when you run a 2-point play and you line up in your 2-point play and you run your motion and then the other team calls a timeout, you cannot run that play. You have to scrap it. Go if that was your best 2-point play, short yardage, you now pick your second one.
Dude, we thought Delio was like Wes Welker or something like that.
Brady Hoke, get no. Run the same. Like that's just crazy. It's crazy to me that they lined up and did the same thing. I could not believe it. When I saw the formation, I'm like, this kind of looks like the same thing. I'm like, but they probably won't run that motion though. And then here comes Delio coming across. I'm like, they did it. Wow, they did it. I'm like, and at that moment, I'm like, this better work because otherwise you're going to look pretty bad. I don't want to go too aggressive, but I just there are high school coaches that know that you can't do that.
Fun. But you know what? That was one of the rare occasions during the really dark time in Michigan football history. That was one of the rare occasions that it was like such house money because I could feel the angst and the anxiety of all the Ohio State fans at that time because that game, Ohio State had so much on the line and Michigan had nothing. And I just was like, this is great. You could see like the confidence in Ohio State fans. They came into the Big House. Oh, we're about to take over this thing. This thing's about to be a blowout. And you get to see like the blank stares and just like what is happening right now. And I will say this. That was one even to this day. Of course, this past fall when we destroyed them, ranks number one. But I'll say in the last 10, 20 years, that game, 06, ranks up there with the most fun I've had watching the game because of just that point, the house money, and it was a great day of football. I mean, and then you have for Desmond's Payne later that night, with the kick six.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was kick six. Yeah, that was Ugh. And get to relive that every November too, because when Auburn and Alabama play, they always replay it. So, never live that one down.
How do
Never
you
let it
not
go.
stop a guy going up the sideline? Like I don't understand it. The pursuit of y'all had to really.
But you gotta think about who's on the field. It's the field goal team, which is all O linemen. I mean, these guys are 300 plus pounds, and you
They've been
want
playing
them.
football their whole life. You need to know how to pursue better than that. That pursuit was terrible. There's no way in the world, as far as he had to run. Like,
But you're
dude,
also talking about a cornerback who's the fastest guy on the field, and you're talking about O linemen trying to catch him, with also 10 guys helping block too. I mean, I could see how it happens. I mean, Ed Reed did it in the NFL, and those are even more elite athletes. So what do you have to say about that?
you know what, dude? Sometimes when your school's
When I'm right, yeah, that's what you don't like, my friend. But yeah, so well, I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens. This November.